Man, now I'm back. I think I got one person. I don't know if I have one person watching or not. But okay, so I'm gonna talk about locks. Are they supposed to be a purpose? Are they supposed to have a purpose for them, or is it just a style thing or a fad? Um, so what made me think about this video idea was that I was actually on YouTube looking at clothing, and when I was looking at clothing, it was actually work jackets, and I was looking at these work jackets and these working style clothing, and I was reading the comments, and one of the comments, well, a lot of the comments were talking about how the jackets were intended, they're Carhartt jackets and other work jackets. They're intended for um, working, right? People who work in certain maybe construction or something like that. So people who have those types of blue collar type jobs, right? And they wear these jackets. Um, and so you're like, man, Johnny, how does this tie into locks? So I was looking at the comments, and they were talking about how the people who these jackets were intended for, they're not. They don't like, basically, those people who they were intended for. They don't really like seeing people who um, don't work in those job fields wearing those jackets for fashion. And so I was like, I guess that makes sense, but people just like the way the jackets look. So why do they have to have those jobs to wear those jackets? And so it kind of made me think about how people feel. I've also been seeing a lot of conversation about how people feel locks should be. Like, people feel like locks should be worn for a purpose. You shouldn't, there has to be some type of spiritual purpose, or some type of uh, political purpose, or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to be wearing locks for something, and that's how a lot of people feel. And and listen, if you feel like locks give you energy, you get like codes from the cosmos or whatever, then that's fine. Like, if you feel all of those things about locks, and I always say this, I'm not with the whole locks and spirituality and energy thing. But if you feel like that, I'll never disrespect it. But if you feel like that, then you have to understand that that's you. Like, you can't put your thought and your feeling of how you uphold locks and hair in general on other people, because everybody's not gonna feel like that. So you have a lot of people feeling like, well, if this person isn't wearing locks for a purpose, and they feel like locks have this intended purpose, and so they feel like you should not be wearing locks if it's not for some type of political, spiritual, or some type of deep purpose. It should not be a style or a fad. And that's like, a lot of people trying to get away from religion, right? And a lot of people want to get away from religion today because they feel like, um, one of the reasons I should say is that they just feel like, man, religion is like this cult, you know, um, so many rules, and so restricted, And so then they leave that, and then they say, you know what, I want to be spiritual, I want to be free, I want to have energy and all of this stuff. And so they get locks, they start growing their locks. You want to get in touch with their natural selves. But then what ends up happening is they start creating a religion. You know what I'm saying? But they just create it inside of locks. That's all a lot of people really do. So they feel like, well, and a lot of religions feel like, well, listen, if you ain't practicing our religion, then you're doing it wrong. That's basically what people do with locks. If you're not practicing it the way that I feel like is intended, then you're doing it wrong. So that's what made me think about this video, and I found those comments very interesting. And it wasn't even about hair, you know what I mean? It was about clothing. So let me click to my page, my so I can see the comments. Well, I don't really have to do that. Let me see if I missed any comments. Good evening, wholeheartedly. Heartedly, not wholeheartedly. Fruits for Life, what's up? Dwayne Jones, blessing from Atlanta. Johnny John, my man, what's going on with you, my brother? Thank you for your time. Yeah, man, I was supposed to start this live way at 3 o'clock, man, and I just hurry up and I got in. And I was like, oh shit, I got this live going, and so I had to, hurry up and take my clothes off and throw something on, and so but if anybody's, for the people who just joining, I'm talking about, obviously you guys see the title, but I was saying what started this video was that I was watching something about clothing. I was looking for some clothing on not looking for to buy clothing on YouTube, but I was looking for reviews and stuff, and they were talking about these work jackets, and a lot of people in the comments were saying that you have people who are like in the hip hop industry and people like that who are wearing these jackets and they don't even work in that field, and they were saying that people should be wearing the jackets for what they're intended for, not for style. And I was saying that how I correlated that with with how a lot of people feel about locks. A lot of people feel like if you don't have some deep meaning or reasoning to have locks, then you shouldn't be wearing locks. And 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 I'm saying that if you have a deep reason for wearing locks, then that's fine. But you gotta be careful not to put that reasoning on everybody else, because everybody else is not gonna be on that same thing. You know what I mean? So that's what the video is about. But as with all my lives, we talk about whatever. I'm trying to click on my laptop so I can go to the comments and see which comments I'm missing, if any. So yeah, that's what it's about, man. Um, Locks and having a purpose. BNT Chef, what's up, man? Okay, I can see the comments now. So, but yeah, other than that, man, um, I think that's pretty much all the conversations I've been seeing about as far as locks go. Um, Purpose. I think I went over my purpose for having locks already. Like I don't, you guys know me. I don't have a deep purpose behind having locks. I don't believe in the whole energy and stuff. I don't believe. When I say I don't believe in it, I'm gonna reiterate. I respect those who do believe in it, but I just don't view my hair like that. I don't like if I don't want somebody touching my hair, I don't think it's because of bad energy. I just don't like that person. I don't mess with that person like that, so they're not gonna be touching my hair. So, um, that's it for that. But I understand it. But a lot of people feel like, man, locks have to be deep, and you ain't gotta have a deep reasoning for having. Some people just like it, man. Like I tell people all the time, man, it's just how I am, bro. Like that's just my style. Like so these are the type of locks that I gravitated to. I wasn't trying to, Now, I will probably say that. Well, I can't even say that because I was gonna say that. Well, when I started, being more enlightened along the way, then maybe that helped with me wanting locks. But I mean, not to say that I was dumb before, and not to say that I was a genius either, or the super conscious person before, but I always had some level of consciousness. Um, so I don't even think that me having locks had anything to do with that. But you start to go along, and I do get it when people start to go along, they start to learn new things, and locks and just your natural hair in general it's it kind of comes with the territory per se. Um, so you want to do that. That's like the natural thing to do, to gear towards and having locks. But it's just something that I just wanted to do. Like it didn't have anything to do with me like waking up or anything like that. I just wanted to do it, man. So I mean, I guess a little part of me understands why people have these deep meanings for themselves as far as locks go. I can understand why they attach these things to them a little bit, but to diminish somebody else's hair because they don't have a deep reason, or because they just want it for fashion, I never understood that. So um, that's what this is about. I never understood why people do that, but um, and I don't want people to think that I'm not spiritual or anything. Um, I just, I'm a pretty straightforward person. So it sound like I know sometimes it can sound like I'm dumping on spirituality and tying them to your locks and all that stuff. But I just try to tell people to be realistic, man. Everybody's not gonna have your same walk. Everybody's not gonna have your same viewpoint. I'm sort of new to your channel, a little off topic. I like to know what's your food, diet, lifestyle. I told people a few months ago I started incorporating fish. Um, Mostly what I do is I learn a lot from the Caribbeans, like rice and peas, things like that. I love cabbage, but there's like no like super set thing. Um, good evening from France, big brother. What's going on? Thanks for tuning in, man. But heartedly, you can ask whatever on this channel, man. I'll answer you. I just wanted to come on here with a topic real quick today. So, but you know, you can ask whatever. Okay, and thanks. I'm looking out to the side, guys, because I'm always looking out to the side so I can like see comments. Because if I do it on my phone, it's gonna disappear, and I'm not gonna be able to answer them. So, any questions about anything? Don't matter. Um, they're getting long. Do you have an ideal length? Nah, man. I just want to let it grow, bro. Like I don't have an ideal length. I don't. Wherever it gets to, it gets to. So fish is the only meat you've added to your diet? Yes. Gorilla Locks, man. What's going on? But yeah, as far as like ideal length, man, no, I don't have an ideal length. I'm just happy to have hair, bro. Like, you know what I mean? I'm just happy to not be balding yet. My pop started balding. I don't know when my pop started balding. And my big brother started balding at like semi balding at like what? Passed away when he was like 30 something. So I think early 30s. So I don't know when my pop started balding. But it ain't hit me yet, so I'm just trying to enjoy it while I got it. Yeah, man. That's it, man. Happy to have hair. And plus a lot of other things too, man. And I don't like to get inspiration from other people's, you know, sorrows or anything. But there's some people who can't grow hair for whatever reasons. Maybe, traction alopecia or alopecia in general. They got some type of medical conditions, man, and so and they really want hair. And I'm just listen, I'm just grateful to have my hair, man. I know a lot of times I just be like, it's just hair, but I do appreciate it, man, because like I said, some people can't grow it. So it's like, I'm just happy to have it, man. So I don't have an ideal length. Actually, let me see what I can't even find them anymore. Yeah, got this coming in, got this coming in. So I got two more locks on top. Just did an ACV rinse for the first time a few days ago. Do you do them? Yeah, I do them. And if you do, how often? I have tried a lot of residue shampoo stuff and haven't really found one that works for me. Yeah, man, I do ACV rinses. Actually, you know what? About 2 weeks ago, I believe it was about 2 weeks ago. Um, I did a light ACV shampoo because usually I do the soak where I just I'll fill my sink up with ACV baking soda. But a couple of weeks ago, what I did was put some in an applicator bottle, just about this much ACV, well, apple cider, about that much, and I filled most of the bottle up with water. And I just put that on my scalp, massaged it in, let it sit for a few, like you can do it 10, 15 minutes, but I mean, you ain't gotta have a science to it. But I let it sit for about 10 minutes, and then I rinsed it out. So I did a light ACV rinse instead of, because soaking it, my hair getting a little bit more longer, so soaking it kind of takes a few more steps, and I don't really be feeling like doing all that sometimes. So, but when I do the actual ACV soaks, I do those probably, man, a couple times a year, maybe something like that. I notice my hair still turns brown even without sun UV rays. Yeah, I mean, I think that once once it hits it, I don't know. I guess it's always gonna be brown. Like, you guys can't really tell now because the light is different. Well, I always do this. There you go. The light's different, so you can see my hair is brown here, but like around here it's not as brown, and on the top is my hair is black. So, but once it gets to the actual locks, you can see that they're brown. So I like the brown tint though. Random questions people might have. See, when I go out, I order these rubber bands. They're big rubber bands, as you can see. Like, they're not the smaller ones. They're big and they're thick. So when I go out, sometimes I just throw this on there, man. Cause damn, can't even get it in now. All right, now we cooking. So I'll throw this on like this, and so it's not a bunch of tension, like pulling my hair. You know what I'm saying? I'm not constantly pulling my scalp back. I'm not pulling my scalp back at all, and my hair is still out of the way. So that's it. But these rubber bands is clutch. Ordered a whole bag of them from Amazon like 2 months ago. I don't know if it's been that long, but what else? I can give some tips because a lot of people be really okay, I'm back, worried about their locks a lot, man. I would say, bro, I'm telling you, man, the best thing you can do with having locks like this is just forget about your hair, bro. Like, other than you washing it and taking care of it the way you need to take care of your scalp, man, you just forget about it. And once you forget about it, that's it. Like, when I say forget about it, I'm like, a lot of people, like, they constantly want to put their hands in their hair. They want to twist it. They're worried about how it's looking. Hey, I have a little dread that's thinning, and what am I supposed to do about that? And bruh, just forget about all of that. Just don't worry about your hair, bro. I need to do an ACV rinse on my son. How long do you let your locks soak? It be random, but I try to do at least 30 minutes. 30 minutes is a while, but listen, I'll soak my locks in the sink, and I'll like have my laptop behind me, have music playing or something, or I'll have be doing something, reading, whatever. And once you do that, the time before that goes by so fast, you don't even really notice that you're just doing it. Now it's just like you're just there. Yes, I love the natural brown dye of my hair. People always ask, do I dye my hair? Yes, with the sun. Any tips on dry, itchy scalp? Paige Lyons, thank you for tuning in. Any I would say this. I would say go to a dermatologist first, honestly, because it's like you can attack the problem without going through all of these steps, without trying all of these shampoos and remedies and all of these things. I would say go to a dermatologist first. That um, diet, a lot of times it's water intake. A lot of times it's just certain things that people eat that triggers, a dry, itchy scalp. So I would say definitely do that first. How extremist are you with your hair though? Like, can you go one straight week without touching it? That's a good question. I've never thought about that. I'm trying to think about, do I even like throughout the week, how do I touch my hair, and like what ways make me touch my hair? Um, and honestly, man, like other than me doing something to it, like take caring for it, or like I said, if I see like right now I got lint in it, got a little lint, you know what I'm saying? If I happen to notice some lint, I'll pick out the lint, and that's about it. That's the extent that I go to touch my hair throughout the week, other than caring for it. But other than that, I'm not messing with it at all. Like, especially, listen, man, when your hair gets like to this length, man, you're so used to having it that you don't even you don't really even notice it anymore. So you don't have a reason to touch it. As your hair gets longer, is there a need to cover it when you sleep? That's another good question, man. Usually I don't sleep with anything on my hair, or I'll have it tied back with the rubber band, so it's easier to move and lay on the sides, like because it can get, like, my hair's pretty rough, you know what I mean. So um, I'll just tie it back to the side, man. I mean, I just tie it back with the rubber band that I showed you guys, and I just sleep like that. And if I need to, if I need to lay on my back, I just move it to one side. Um, but I don't cover my hair at night. There's no reason for it other than I don't know, like I have slept with something on my head before, and I just felt like real restricted, and I don't really, I don't really like feeling restricted. And then it comes off at night, and just like so. But who knows, as my hair gets longer and longer, maybe I might want to sleep with something on my head. I'm not against it. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, makes sense. I think I just think too much about there being stuff that I can't see in my locks. I mean, I guess that would depend on like what you sleeping on. I mean, you can get a satin pillowcase, or something like that, if you're worried about sleeping on, with lint. You know, lint is. I mean, unless you're sleeping on something that's like, as soon as you lay down on it, like you got lint all over. I mean, you ain't gonna really notice it. What does dreads represent for you? Do you feel more in tune with the world around you, or is it the same as before you were growing them? Uh, my dreads to me just mean it's an extension of my attitude. I'm a pretty straightforward, serious person, um, but I'm eclectic. Uh, so I'm laid back, but I can be a little rugged, a little rough. So that's that, but that's an extension of who I am. Therefore, the way I want to grow my hair, or maybe wear my clothes, or anything, all it's the same thing. It's just an extension of my personality. So uh, they represent me as an extension of my personality, who I am. So if you know me, then you know those are the things that I am. So my hair manifests that. Do you feel more in tune with the world? No, I don't feel more in tune with the world. Not because of my locks. I feel more in tune about things because life experience, seeing more things, having a different perception, perspective, I should say, of things, listening to people with different perspectives from myself, and saying, man, you know what? I used to believe this, but with new information, being around different people, it's like, you know what? Maybe I can tweak the way I look at certain things. So, yeah, I mean, I guess I'm more in tune, but it's not from my hair. Um, and do you feel the same as before growing? Yeah, I feel the same. I feel the same mostly. Again, the differences are because of my life experiences, not because I started growing my hair. Can you give advice for young ones? I'm 22. I like listening to you. You pick your words carefully, and you're very wise. Um, what kind of advice are you looking for? Like, just general life advice, hair advice? Like, let me know. What do you think young people should? Okay, so I guess that's your question. Well, I will still know. Like, what do you mean? What do I think young people should keep in mind? I appreciate you watching. So at 22, man, 22. I remember being 22. So this is just gonna be general advice because I'm thinking about it. At 22 years old, you know what I was thinking? I was saying, man, um, okay, as life goes on, I was thinking about 30. I was thinking about that 30 year mark, and I was saying, well, a lot of things that I should have or could have done then to better my life. I said, I got a lot of time. I still got time. You know what I mean? 30 was my mark. So I would say at 22 years old, man, don't put life off. Like if you have an achievement you want to reach, if you have any kind of accomplishments that you want, strive to do it, man. I'm telling you, because you're gonna be approaching. You're gonna be you. What happens is a lot of people approach that 30-year mark, because 30 is when we feel like we're getting old. So you're gonna start to try to cram, and you're gonna end up not knowing what you really want to do because you're trying to cram, because you're like, man, you want certain things in life, but now you're trying to cram it because you wasted time. Don't waste time. If you got something, work towards it right now. Try to get it before you 30. Like as you a young dude, like don't think of it like, man, I'm young. No, because you see people that's older, and they sometimes they tend to have more things. You know what I'm saying? More accomplishments, more credentials, and all of these things. But you can have that at a young age. Like, don't let age stop you from doing that. So whatever you want to accomplish, work towards it right now. You don't have time to lose. I think one way or another your locks will change you or the people around you. Mostly people around you, in my opinion. That's a good thought. I don't agree. I think what happens is this. So when I started growing my hair, yeah, people looked at me differently. Like people that's around me, they looked at me differently. Like, not differently like they didn't like me. They looked at me differently, like they can see a change in me. Um, did they like my hair? No, they were wondering what I was doing. Did it change them, or did it change their perception of me? Really? I mean, maybe. I'm sure it changed their perception of me a bit. Um, I really only focused on my immediate family. Like that's all I care. Like children, my mom, pops, sisters, brother. Like that was it. Like anybody else outside of that, I don't really care. But so I don't think it changed them. I mean, I'm sure they looked at me different, but did it change them? Like, no, I don't believe so. But maybe certain people said, now there was people on the outside who I talked to who started treating me different. Um, used to think that I was crazy. Used to like low key call me crazy and stuff like that. And I'm just like, man, I'm just trying to be, I'm just trying to be myself, man. I'm trying to be different, but I'm trying to be myself as well. So, that was, you had to deal with that. God bless you. God bless you as well, man. I appreciate you, watching and listening and asking for the advice. Appreciate it. When somebody values your advice, man, that means a great deal, man. Oh, that's another thing I thought about. A lot of people, I heard somebody say that with longer locks comes wisdom. And I'm like, yo, man, that's one of the most foolish things I've heard in my life. Now, people who have long locks, they have wisdom. They do. But I think, man, people tie too much into simply having hair. I don't think that you gain wisdom or whatever through hair, man. I really don't. I think that you just have these experiences, man, and you start learning more stuff. And then as that stuff comes and you start learning more stuff, you start to gain wisdom. Ain't really got much to do with hair, man. Was this your first set of locks? And I have I'm gonna bring them on camera one day, man. I was actually I was supposed to bring them on camera one time. I did a live and somebody asked me about them and I couldn't find them. And this is my second set though. I'm gonna bring them on camera one day, and I still got them in a Ziploc bag. I probably need to do an ACV rinse on them to clean them and soak them. But peace, righteous minded, peace to you as well, born eternal. But yeah, I don't tie hair, having locks into nothing but just having hair. Because what happens is when people think like that, they start to put things on people that those people either are not ready for or don't deserve, right? So somebody will see me with long locks and they'll be like, well, because he has long locks, he must be wise, or he must be conscious, or he must be. And I find myself a lot of times on social media, man. Well, I think a different way on a topic, and because I don't think like the next black person on that topic, I get called names, or I get told I need to cut my hair off, because they feel like if I look like that, I'm supposed to think like this. So, they're putting these thoughts on me that they think that's what you think. That's what you think that I should think. You think that I should listen to a certain type of music. You think that I should wear a certain type of thing, or be interested in certain activities because I have locks. And that's what I be trying to get people to see. Like when I make some of these videos about don't tie spirituality into locks and energy and all of these things, is because people do this. I'm running into it all the time. People think that because I have hair that I'm supposed to be a certain way. So, and when I'm not that way, then they're disappointed. They're mad at me because they think that I should be a certain way. But I didn't tell them that I'm that way. They assumed because I look a certain way that's what I'm supposed to like. That's what I'm supposed to think like. And that happens a lot of times. It happens to people without locks as well. People feel like because you're talking about certain things, you have to agree with these things. You have to agree with certain topics. Like if I have a thought process on something, and then people present me with something and then I don't agree with it, then they say that I'm a sellout, or a person is a sellout because they felt like that person should think like that about something. So Johnny, that segment you did on that locticians of Freeform, she was capping a lot though. I came to realize she just hates full neglect. I think that, let me explain that video. The video was to really illustrate how, and it wasn't specifically about her, I just happened to see her video. So what I'll do a lot of times, and I don't want to get off track, what I'll do a lot of times is like I'll see certain things, and like I'll make a video about something that a person said, right? But the video is not them. Like it's not about them. Like I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not on here to like YouTube beef with people or anything like that, or try to step on, you know what I'm saying? But you put a subject out there and it's a topic, and I like the topic, so I derive my thoughts from the topic, not from the person. So I happened to see that video one morning, and I'm, as I'm listening, I don't think that she said anything bad or anything like that, but it made me realize how people, this term freeform locks, like it made me further realize, I should say, how people like it but don't like it. Like I've never seen, this is the most polarizing types of dreadlocks you can have, because people either like it or they hate it, but people also really love it but don't like it at the same time. I've never seen that with any types of other locks. Because somebody can say, I want a freeform, but they don't want to get too mad at, you know what I mean? Like, so then they'll say, like, I've seen people with retwists and everything say that they're freeform, like, but it just goes to show. So that's what that video like further illustrated to me. Like people, and I'm not saying her specifically, but just people, they like it but they don't like it. So it's interesting to me, man. I've never seen any type of hair have that type of effect on people, where they like it and hate it at the same time. But you also have groups who hate it and love it. Like if you think about, like, if you go on social media and scroll down locks and all types of lock pictures and stuff, and you look at, you find locks. Wicks are starting to get their fair share of slander as well, because now everybody's starting to get waked up. It's exploding. So, but if you look at either these types of locks or wicks and look under the comments and stuff, you're gonna see people going hard. Like, again, you're gonna see people who really love it in the comments. You're gonna see people who just straight despise it, and it just shows you that it's like one of the most loved and hated hairstyles. But you won't see a person with hair like mine going under somebody's picture. I don't want to say you're never going to see it, but for the most part, overall, you won't see it. You won't see somebody with hair like mine going under somebody's picture who has a space between their locks about this big, and the rest of it is just scalp, because they're balding and they're still getting retwisted tightly. You won't see us going under their stuff and like bashing them and telling them how bad their hair looks. But you go into our pictures with hair, people with hair like mine and wicks, you're gonna see that. You're gonna see a lot of that, because it's not the status quo. You know what I mean? It's not something that people really like that. So you're gonna get a bunch of comments under there, but you won't see it the other way around. People really like it. People really hate it. I can say I've never seen that in the comments. So you're right, yeah. So, and man, people be really mad about it too. Like they be really, and listen, I have another thought too. I don't know. Listen, I'm probably wrong on this. Probably wrong. It's just a thought that I always thought. When I see these transformations on social media, I don't know, man. I just something in me, something in my intuition is telling me that a lot of those are like people paying somebody to let their hair just rock out for a little bit, and then they do their transformation, and now they look like a magician, a hair magician. So they get, they get to come off as if they saved this person's hair. Now I don't know that. It's just a theory that I'm throwing out there. And and you think about that in itself, somebody feels like if your hair is like that. Now, so if a person, right, who does natural hair, if they think that I'm saving this person's hair, I'm giving this person a makeover, when they see you out and about, what do you think that they think of you? So, do you feel wisdom of life grows with age, or can someone young have lots of wisdom as an older person? Wisdom has no age, man. That's a good question. Generally, right? Generally speaking, we see older people with more wisdom, generally speaking, right? Because the way the mind develops, the scientifically, the way the mind develops. Now, you can see. Now, listen, I'm 34. There's probably some young dudes with more wisdom than I have. I think you can have. I think people look at wisdom as a one side or this side thing. Like, what I mean by that is you can have wisdom in multiple areas of life. Wisdom is just not a one track thing. Like, there's multiple areas that you can have wisdom in. So there's probably dudes that's 20 years old right now who have more financial wisdom than I have now, and definitely more financial wisdom than I had back then when I was 20 years old. So does wisdom come with age? Yes, but yes, absolutely it does. But yes, I believe that a younger person, and I'm always willing to learn from anybody that's younger than me. I don't. The one thing I've learned is that if you want to learn from somebody or to learn, you can't discriminate against anybody really. So I might take some learning from somebody that's white, from somebody who is maybe not even as smart as I am, but they still may have something to offer. Somebody that's younger than me. So, or somebody who, hey, a homeless person may be able to, well, I don't want to call them a homeless person, a person that's homeless, because I think that's different. I don't like to lead off people with calling them homeless people. Like, sometimes they're people, they just happen to be homeless. But anyway, they may have wisdom for me. You know what I'm saying? So I don't cut anybody out as far as receiving real wisdom or advice from them. But does wisdom come with age? Generally speaking, yes. But hey, we got we got a lot of people who are older and they don't, you may not think that they're as wise. So I'm still trying to develop wisdom in a lot of areas, man. I'm a level-headed dude, yes, but um, there's still some things, I'm always working working on that. So I think I heard you mention earlier that you have kids. Are they also free-forming? No, no. Kids in free-forming, um, unless they came to me, well, for one, the twins are in a private school, um, so but that would have to be something that my children would have to come to me and be like, hey, I want this, and then we'll sit down and have that talk. Red sings the blues, man. I appreciate the super chat. Y'all was busy, man. We just interview soon. We must interview soon. Hey, man, whenever you listen, man. I'm here, man. I'm right here. You got my email now, so you can let's just hit me up whenever, man. I mean, I see you've been working as well though, so ain't no rush. You gotta, you know, build your channel as well. So we'll link though. Um, do you lose respect? Oh, hold on, let me finish answering. I got a couple more questions. So let me, Miss Lyons, let me answer your question more adequately first. Yeah, that would have to be something that my children would, come to me and ask me about, and then I would explain to them, like ask them like, what's your purpose, and um, what makes them want to do it, and see if that's something that they really want to do, and then we go for it. We'd have a talk and make a decision from there. Do you lose respect on such people, the ones going from freeform to maintain locks? Listen, man, I'm big on respect, bro. Like, when I now listen, respect is like, that's one of my big things. I respect people, man. Do I lose respect for them? No, I don't lose respect for them. From freeform locks to maintain. Oh, hold up. I actually, Okay, so I actually read your question wrong. So you said going from freeform locks to maintain. Now, I mean, listen, you do what you want to do, man. I don't lose respect for them over their hair. What do you think about the folk that make videos that say they are freeforming but clearly aren't? uh, I think that this is a hairstyle or a form of locks that people really gravitate to. And sometimes they gravitate. Listen, this is what I think happens. What happens is this: people see pictures with Bob Marley and stuff like that. You know, I mean, that's a lot of people's inspiration, Bob Marley and all that stuff. So, what they do is they say, "I want locks like that," because they see it and it looks mighty. It looks it pulls them in because the way it looks, and they see that oftentimes it takes a certain amount of confidence to just have your hair like this, right? And they like the way it look. So then they say, I want to do that for it. And there's a lot of reasons why people said that they want to do it, right? And I don't want to go into all those reasons, but they just, I'm speaking in general. They want to go, they think that they want to do it, so they try it out. And so what happens is their hair starts to go crazy. When I say it starts to go crazy, it starts to like really start matting up, and it's like your hair's starting to stick up everywhere, and like, so your hair's doing stuff that it's never done before, that you've never seen it, that you've never had your hair do before, because we know most of us used to being clean cut and all of these things. So it starts to get like that, and then people are not ready for that. So they say, man, I do want to fit into this group. I want to call myself a freeform locker. So then they say, you know what? And that's when they say that right there, that's when all the stipulations start to come in. That's when they start to twist it. So like, if you want to be anything, any occupation, right? And now you start to actually train for the occupation, you're like, man, it's kind of hard, man. And you're like, well, I can also take this route, and then right there you can forget about trying to be the occupation, because you're trying to do something that it's just not, that's not you. So I think that's what happens. I think people want to do it, their hair starts to do stuff that they're not used to, and now they try to tweak it in a way that they like it, that's readily available to them. Instead of, listen, and I said this, was it my last video? I think it was, where I said you can just not call your hair anything, and cut that whole dilemma out. But people want to do this so bad that they will do that. You know what I'm saying? And listen, on this YouTube thing, when you put freeform locks in your title, people click on that. So, and that's why. So that's what I think about those people. Any plans for your beard? I think I wanted to lock it up, and then I was like, I may or may not. But the more I actually think about it, I say, you know what? I'm probably not gonna do it. So I just keep it like this. I actually trim my beard to get it like more even, more rounded. So trim the little loose ends and stuff. But that's all. I'd probably just keep it like this for real, man. How long would you say the shrinkage stage should be before your hair starts to actually grow out? I don't know how long it should be, but I get your question. I'll say this: when you're trying to grow your hair like this, you ain't gotta worry about looking at no length for about 3 years. Yeah, I would say 3 years. 2, maybe 3.5. 2 to 3.5 years. Now, once you start getting around there, like, you know what I'm saying, you're probably gonna be around here somewhere, and now your hair's gonna start dropping more and more. Hebrew Nazarite, man, thank you for always tuning in, man, catching a live. Bad Roots lifestyle. Let me see. How can the world be more free from monetary ways and be in a community of sharing, in your opinion? How can the world be free of, well, the way the world now is currently constructed, that's impossible because we've let the ball get rolling, you know what I'm saying? And there's not really much you can do to stop it now. So how can it? I don't believe that's a realistic um, accomplishment or task. And I mean, and I don't know if that's a bad thing. Well, I don't like when I say that. I don't know if money's necessarily a bad thing. Like, it's just, the people in other things that's surrounding, or controls money. So um, I hope I answered that adequately. In my 2 year journey, so many have taught me um, knowledge. Can't say I can't say I did anything right or called my dreads the right terms at times. I love the culture and everything in different ways about it. Yeah, man. Listen, I love locks, man. I love all types of locks. That's why I don't understand why people. I don't listen, bro. I don't want to just blame it on social media because I think whoever you are on social media, that's who you are off. You just show it in a different way. Social media gives you a way to show it differently. That's it. I see people. You listen. I see people on the internet all the time, bro, with clearly fake hair, lying about their locks. But who am I to correct those people? It's just interesting to see. I use social media as my observation. I take in a lot of stuff, man. I observe a lot of things, and I learn from it. It makes me know what to watch for. Um, but I love all locks, man. But that's just me, though. Yeah. I ain't got nothing against nobody else. Any thoughts on Zaylock trimming his locks? Okay, that's I've heard that young man's name. I don't call him a young man. Man might be older than me. I heard that gentleman's name before in my channel. I don't know. I haven't he trimmed them, but just speaking on trimming in general, um some people just need that trim, man. Some people just sometimes their hair gets too long, or sometimes they like the way their hair looks at a certain length. Like, somebody hair might be at this length and they might be like, man, I really like my hair at this length, and so they might just keep it there. So that's my thoughts on that. What is the best way to grow freeform dreads like this? Just wash your hair, leave it alone, man, and take care of your scalp. That's it. Akara, I hope I'm saying your name correctly. Probably butchered it. I know you don't do controversy, but please let me know your thoughts on how Dad's Life tried to portray his previous synthetic hair as 100% real. Um, I think, listen, when these types of locks on social media is big right now. These types of locks and wigs. Now, that's not to say that the manicure locks aren't, because you got people who have manicure locks on uh, social media, depending on who they are, because different people got different types of clout, and they got huge followings, very huge followings. But when you get into the wicks and freeforms, it's not something that people are really used to seeing. So, and let me try to get more direct to your question. So, you have people who will to get a piece of that pie, to get a piece of that social media pie and clout, right? And I don't know him personally, but this is just my thought on why people do certain things on social media. You ain't never been popular in high school. You ain't never been popular in after high school, right? You get on the internet, social media, and you have this thing about you, whether it be fake locks, like you said, this young man, this person had, or it can be anything. So you got more attention and more people paying attention, no more people paying attention to you and complimenting you than you ever had before in your life. You don't want to let that go. You don't want to, like, you've never had this before. So that's why a lot of people come on here and they're like, yo, okay, this is what they're doing in these spaces, the freeform lock space or whatever space it may be. How can I get into that space? And however they choose to get into that space. And so that's my thoughts on that. People come on, they can come on the internet and get attention. Like, man, listen, if I had a cut, you know, I can post a picture, and I'm speaking for myself. I can post a picture on Instagram, right? And, you know, I can get a couple hundred likes. Who's to say I wouldn't get, who's to say I would even get 30 likes if I didn't have, you know, my locks? Now, don't, you know, I'm not saying that I'm ugly or anything, but what I'm saying is that, you know, that's something that draws people to me, you know, like my hair. So, I mean, there's other aspects that people like about me. Well, that's when they see a picture of me. But for people like that, that was the thing that brought them more attention than they ever had. So they ride it. Can you do a lock review? You know, I've been thinking about doing lock reviews, man. This is the second time I've been asked that. If I learn how to screen share, man, I'll start doing them. I don't know if I can screen share on this laptop or not, but I'll probably start doing them in the future if I get right. How do you embrace flattening, and freeforming? My locks are not really round. They're kind of flat, a little bit, but I really don't think about my hair, man. I really don't. However my hair would have turned out, I'd have been all right with it. I just have to tell you, I don't think about my hair at all, man. What's good, big dog? Give thanks. Thanks for tuning in, Rasta man. But man, I love your locks. That is true dedication. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it greatly. What was your introduction to freeforming? Good question, Ron Rich. I never had that question before. I don't think I have. Well, yes, it's kind of the same thing as inspiration. So maybe I have in a different form. Just seeing different people around me, man. So I'll tell the story again. So when I was in the military, well, I've always liked locks like this. I just, you know what I'm saying? I've always liked thick locks. So I would see people like Bob Marley. Ricky Williams is my favorite athlete. Well, I don't know. Him and Kevin Garnett is my 1A and 1B. Like, but Ricky Williams was like I would say I would probably give Ricky Williams the edge by a hair. So Ricky Williams was like I loved Ricky Williams. Every game Ricky Williams had, I would watch Ricky Williams in college. When he got to the Saints, every game. When he got to Miami, like I would watch all his Alexis Shanice YouTube. Alexis Shanice, thank you for that donation. I would watch all his games. So he was like a big inspiration for like locks for me. When I was in the military, I would go home with my homeboy from St. Pete. He was from St. Pete. Well, he's Trinidadian, but he was from St. Pete. He took me to one of his childhood friends' home. And so his childhood friend's pops had this long lock all the way to his legs. And I would just be staring at him, man. Like staring at him. I'm like, yo, man, like I've never seen nobody with hair that long before. And so I would stare at him, and then I talked to him about his hair one day. You know, I finally built up the courage to like talk, because he was like a very serious dude. Like I don't know, it's like he didn't look approachable, man. So, but I talked to him, you know what I mean? He was cool, man, real cool. And so we talked, and I would see other people. I remember being in a parking lot somewhere, and I seen this dude with these long dreadlocks, man, all the way to his legs. And I seen another person, and I was like, getting a traffic ticket, take care of a traffic ticket in court, and this person had these long locks to their legs, man. I would see these guys in Florida with these untwisted hair, man. I remember what's that group called that T-Pain was in? I think it was called the Nappy Boys or something like that. I would see people like them, and like I would really be like, yo, man, I gotta have locks like that. So I would see things like that, and that would be my, my introduction to that. And I was like, I'm gonna grow locks like that, man. Ace of Clouds. Wait. Oh, okay. Answer that question. Sounds great. You got to get a screen recording app for reviews. Okay. All right. Thanks for that information. Now I know I got to get a screen recording app. All right. Have you had a positive experience with women who appreciate your hair off the bat? Absolutely, man. Like, yeah, I'm good on the women end, man. Like, you just gotta. Now, as far as I actually have a video called Freeform Locs and Dating. So I probably would have to add some stuff. If I made another video about that, I probably would. You know what I'm saying? I was a young YouTuber then. So I'd probably add some more tips. But as far as like women, yo, man, women love locks like this, bro. Like, they do. Like, now I'm not saying all women. I'm not saying you got your women who like it. You know what I'm saying? You got your ones who just don't. But for the most part, I've mostly encountered women who they like it. I haven't had any problems dating women who don't like it. They're actually drawn to it. Now, that's me. So that's not to say that just because a woman likes me with these types of locks that she would like the next man with these types of locks. I don't know. So everybody's different. Everybody's aesthetic attracts different types of people. You might have to try a couple apps though. Okay, I appreciate that. I'm gonna work on it, man. I'm gonna work on it. I'm gonna work on it and see if I can get into that. Nappy Boys from the Florida love them. That Florida spirit with dreads did some life at Nas Jax. Okay, you talked to, yeah. But I mean, I think honestly, and I don't want to speak for women. I think as far as like women might have it harder as far as getting somebody date to date than a man would. I don't know, because I think people, even though it's not liked by a lot of people, the people who do like it, like me, people kind of feel like you're a man, so it kind of like goes up the alley of just being a man, something like that. That makes sense to you. So it's a bit easier as far as the dating world goes. Like, my mom didn't like it at first. Like, now my mom always she'd be like, man, your hair got long. So she always talk about how long my hair got. But other than that, like, you can have people who gonna like it and people who not gonna like it, man. It's just what it is. But what happens is, a lot of times, hold on, how long should you wait to wash your hair? You can wash it whenever, man. Actually, listen, if you're just starting, I don't want to say the more you wash it, the better. Because again, sometimes people can't wash their hair a lot because it dries their scalp out. But what happens is, a lot of times people feel like, okay, Night Man, thanks for tuning in. Peace to you as well. A lot of times people feel like they're like, when they're in the new stage of it, they want to hurry up and form their hair, so they keep washing it like every 2-3 days, and it's like, all you gotta do is wash your hair one time, or however you wash it, however long. Listen, whenever you had short hair, however often you will wash that, that's how you take care of your hair. So it doesn't need to be but especially with these types of locks, man, like, you don't have to wait at all. That's the good thing about it. You ain't gotta wait, because you're not worried about anything untwisting or unraveling. So you're actually helping to form your hair when you wash it. So you can Wash it whenever you want to. But nowadays, like as far as the length that I have now, might wash once a week, might wash twice a week, might off very rare do I hit 3 times a week, but twice is my max. I was about to say something earlier, but I forgot. Let me scroll back up. Oh, I don't know, but wash it with shampoo once a week or cold water wash once a week. Oh, okay, I see what you're asking. I don't really do the cold water rinses. I seeing people talk about that. I gotta try that, man. I gotta try these. Just I'm gonna see how it makes my scalp feel. So I'm gonna try probably this week because I'm gonna be working out kind of tough this week. Well, no, I take that back. I'm not gonna be able to. I actually got an appointment tomorrow. But I'm gonna try. When I do, get it in real heavy on the workout. I'm going to just try to do the cold water rinse and see how that um, helps me out. See how that feels for me. But what I do is I shampoo wash about twice a week. What is your reference on air drying? That's all I do is air dry. Now I have used blow dries before, recently actually. So like right now, it's a pretty gloomy day out. We're in hurricane season, in the middle of hurricane season. So it got a lot of rainy days out. So some days when I really need to wash my hair, man, ain't much sun out sometimes. So if if I get a late start. So if I end up washing my hair after 2 o'clock, then obviously I'm not gonna be able to air dry like I want to. So, but other than that, I just I air dry, and I have to now. What I do is I flip my hair. I flip my hair like this because what this does is it gets the sun. I get to let the sun hit under my locks. So, but other than that, it's usually dry pretty fast. I'm telling you, like I do that. And once I beat my hair, I don't know if you know that method that I do or not, but I got a like this stanchion thing, this pillar outside, and I slap my locks against that. Once I do that really thoroughly, man, my hair dries like within minutes because all of the excess hair is out of the inside of the lock, so it can help it dry better. Um, I feel confidence takes you some ways. I've learned. Yeah, if it's yeah, confidence does take you a long way with a lot of things, man. Are you thinking about a dread beard? I was at one point, man. I ain't gonna lie, I was like really thinking about it, but now I don't really think about it as much anymore. But I mean, who knows down the line? I may, but right now my mind is kind of off of it. My hair looks like this. CEO private. Why does it seem like my hair don't grow? Um, man, that could be a couple of reasons. D. I have 4 big Congos. All right. Uh, okay, so let me the grow question. Now as far as why does it seem like your hair is not growing? Sometimes people pay attention to their hair too much. So if I always use this reference, if you plant something and every day After you plant it, you go outside and check on it. It's gonna seem like it's taking forever to grow. If you just plant it and leave it alone, you're gonna be like, man, I just planted this yesterday and it's this big already. Could be that. Could be some internal things. Um, could be certain care. Maybe I don't know how your hair looks, so that could be a thing. It could be in your head. It could be a health thing. I don't know. My man said I have 4 big Congos. Listen, I love to see Congos, man. I love to see them. I love to see people with hair similar to mine, because it lets me see that. I love to see people's, it's like your artwork. You know what I mean? Like, so I look at mine all the time, but I really get more mesmerized by other people's artwork. Like, man, like, yo, I see people's hair, like, and I still like, when I first didn't have locks and I was looking at those people who I used to see that I just told y'all about, and I still look at people's hair, and I'd be like, yo, man, this hair is dope. Like, I don't be hating on people, man. So I like to see it. So is cold water do tend to draw your hair tight. Freeform is the only true way. uh, I can go live with you to show you. Well, I don't know if I can add anybody to this. I'm not on a. I think you gotta have like an app to add people on the live. I don't know. Tim Jr. All praises to the Most High, brother. My question is this: when you started your freeforms, is it exactly this shape your hair took that you expected? That's a good question, man. I didn't expect anything. Darius Chaffin. Hello, brother. Hello, man. Thanks for tuning in. Um, so to Mr. Junior, no, I didn't expect my hair to take this form at all. I didn't like, so that was the beauty of growing my hair like this. Like, that was the most interesting thing, because I was like, yo, I'm gonna grow my hair like this, and I don't know how it's gonna turn out, and I was ready for however it's gonna turn out. So my hair started sectioning off. It didn't even really, well, I noticed that there was like 3 clumps. There was two on the sides, one in the back, and it didn't really look like it was going to form into 3. It's about like maybe 2.5 years in, I kind of had an idea that it may form into 3, because they started separating from each other and like protruding out. And about my 4th or 5th year, this started coming together. So now you see it's like this now. And you know what's crazy? Like, this right here, this whole piece of hair that's like bonded these together, it started off as a little piece of hair that connected, as well as a little bridge of thick hair that connected the right one, because this used to be like this one, right? It used to be over here. Well, this one. It used to be over here by itself, like this one. So I had 2 locks here. And this one used to be all the way in the back in the middle. Now you can see that it shifted all the way over here. So I had no clue that it was gonna turn out like that. So I think that's the beauty of it for me. Having to growing your hair like this and not knowing how it's gonna turn out, how the artwork is gonna turn out, and just appreciating it. I just made it 1 year semi-free form, and it's been a journey. All right, hey, congratulations to you, man. That listen, after that first year, bro, like once you make it past that first year, I mean, it really kind of flies by, man. Like, if you can, but you can make it a year, you good. How do you feel about Jay-Z growing freeform? I like Jay's Freeform. He actually, I ain't gonna lie, I doubted him, man, and that's my favorite rapper too. Um, I didn't think that he was gonna keep him as long as he has. So I still want to know, like, if he cuts him off, I mean, it's whatever. But I do wonder, like, how long he's gonna keep him. But I like his locks, man. They're pretty dope. Is there a limit to how long you will allow them to grow? Asia 99 too. Asia. No, I don't have a limit. Um, I have heard people say that when their hair gets a certain length, it starts to hurt their necks and it starts to pull. So I don't know if that's if that will happen to me or not, or if those things are true or not. Take people for their word. So but I don't have a length where I'm like, yo, once my hair gets like this, I'm gonna cut it. Um, so I mean, not right now. I'll play it by ear, see how it goes. But speaking of the cold, going back to the cold water thing, what I usually do is I'll wash my hair with hot slash warm water and rinse with cold water. Jay Z's line about his hair and what's free classic. Yeah, that was yeah. I actually heard that line about 2 months ago. I had listened to that line. Um, on the right and left side of my head, the areas seem pushed flat down. Not like bedhead, but not like bedhead where your locks are matted together, but just flat. What might be causing that? Um, so I think what caused mine. So when my locks were in a 3 to 4 year stage, my locks were more cylindrical. As you can see now, they're more flat. What I mean? They're kind of flat. So, and I know I'm answering your question. I'm using my hair, but I'm answering your question about your hair as well. So, I think that sometimes when I wash my hair, just from it, being damp, or maybe because when I'll wash it and I'll squeeze it out like this, right? So that probably helped it, or just the way I used to lay on my hair, kind of. So you start to mold your hair, by doing stuff like that. So just over time, you do that over time, and it's gonna start to flatten out. That's pretty much all it is. Was your hair long when you started freeforming? My hair was about this length. I like hair. And I was in the hospital recovering, and I said, about to start growing my locks. And that was it. Do you deal with dandruff? I used to, but I listen. I found that Blue Magic grease helped me a lot, man. It really did. Kept my scalp moisturized. I know people really don't like the grease, but I'm just I had to find what works, man. Because it's obviously it's heavier than oil. Like when I put oil on my scalp, it kind of just certain oils absorb more. Certain oils don't really absorb as much in the scalp, so they kind of just sit on my scalp. Sometimes, a lot of times people over oil their scalps as well, and that actually is causing dandruff. It's causing, because the oil is just sitting there and it starts to cause flaking, because your hair is like, um, on top of the sebum that it already produces. It's got this oil just sitting on top of your hair, and so it's causing dandruff. A lot of people don't know that. I have braids right now, but when I take them out, I am going to freeform again, and just see where it goes. Wish me luck. And that's all you do, man. Listen, don't bind yourself to just try it out. You know what I'm saying? See if it's for you. And if it's not, hey, man, listen, I tried it twice and it ain't for me right now. So it's, you ain't gotta, don't beat yourself up over it. Lenny Kravitz cut his locks off, and has grown them out again. Okay. Some people do this over and over again. Why do you think this is? For one, I think that some people are just not really attached to their hair like that. Like they can just whack it off and grow it back, whack it off, grow it back. You know what I'm saying? Because they ain't really attached to their hair. Some people, they're battling some internal things. And what happens is we express ourselves through hair. So, like when people say that I actually kind of want to make a video about this, but I'll say it here. When people say that they cut their hair off after a breakup, right? And they say that, I had to let that bad energy go. What it really is that people, especially when you go through a breakup, to get over a person that you really had a connection to, an emotional connection, you try to do anything to erase that person out of your mind. So people will cut their hair off because what they really want is change. So anything that I can feel like I'm a new person, I'm a different person from the person that was dating that person, I'll do. So you have people who just really want change, whether it be from breakups, whether it be from some type of traumatic things, and they feel like, okay, well, if I cut my hair, this will help me feel like I am a new person. You know what I'm saying? I'm a regenerated person. You have people who are battling self-image issues to where they feel like, well, I see it a lot with freeform locks, with people attempting to freeform lock. They feel like this is going to help them get in touch with their self naturally. And so what they do is they'll be like, okay, I'm a freeform. And then they whack it off because they feel like it's not really what they want to do. It's not, I'm saying, like, they don't really like that look. So they'll keep cutting their hair off, trying to start over, trying to find that identity, but you can't find it in hair. Thank you for your answer. Well explained. Peace and love, brother. Thank you, man. I'm glad I answered your question, and thank you for watching. Asia, I hope I answered your question. As far as why people keep doing that. People are looking for some type of identity sometimes. Sometimes people, they're just not connected to their hair that much, so they'll cut it off. It don't matter, so. Any more questions? I've been on here for, how long have I been on here? An hour and 22. Anybody got any questions? Any questions, thoughts, comments, concerns? What do you think of J. Cole locks? I like J. Cole's locks, man. I think when people see locks like the person Aisha mentioned, Lenny Kravitz, when people, okay, thank you. I appreciate it. Oh, you're welcome, Aisha. When people see, people like Lenny Kravitz, when people see people like J. Cole, Lauryn Hill, well, when she used to have locks, people like that, like when people see them, like that's what they think. That's what, to them, that's the type of freeform locks that they want. That's what they really want. Alexis Shanice said, I almost cut my old locks off and restart them, but I decided to just undo them and redo them. Best decision I made. So did you go with a different type of locks, or? But that is a good decision. If you have a type of locks that you actually want, that you're actually happy with, hey, that's all that matters, man. I get misjudged every time I'm in town and everyone thinks I'm going to mug them or something. So I take my phone out to show them I also have something to lose. To the stereotyping is bad. Yeah, man. Unfortunately, it's still this. We're still in times where we have to deal with that type of stuff, man. Sometimes I just be out in public, looking at other people's dreads, like, wow, I barely see other fellow women freeformers, but many manicure women. Yeah. Listen, every time I see like, actually, I was at a Jamaican spot about 6 months ago. My mom had never had Jamaican food before, so I was using there getting her something to eat. And this brother walked in, man, and I was really mesmerized by his locks. Like, you could tell he started off twisted, but he just let them go for like probably like 8 to 10 years, and like they were like past a little bit past his waist, and I was like just staring. I'm like, yo, that man, brother's dope. Brother's locks was dope, man. So I was staring at his locks. Um, New Era said I did the same thing. Started 12 wicks with rubber bands. Tried to wash buildup out with Dawn dish soap. Turned them into Swiss cheese, so I had to separate. Um, Sunlight was shining through through all of them. Yeah, you know, it happens, man. Lesson learned, though. Lesson learned, man. Actually, you know what? I always tell people, y'all probably heard me say this on the channel 15,000 times. If I had not started with these types of locks, I would have had wicks. I wanted 7 wicks. But wicks right now is exploding, man. You got a lot of people, everybody getting their locks combined right now. Everybody. And I think because you get the best of both worlds, man. You get to have that neat, pulled in, clean look, and you get to have thicker locks. So people are going for it right now, man. So you get to have your parts and stuff still. So Wix is exploding right now. I get love from the culture when I'm out and about, and I give love back. Many times I stop and have full-blown conversations with strangers about their sets. That's good, man. Positivity. I loved them honestly till I did all that. What you got locks now? Or like, would you whacked them off and just stopped, or I don't get to have too many conversations with people with people like out and about with people who actually have locks. Now there are people who don't have locks. They'll stop me and we'll talk about locks. But in Baltimore, wait, but the separation ain't terrible either. I don't care about the titles, but I guess I'm semi freeform. I don't know. The titles, man. You don't have to get caught up in the titles. I be trying to tell people you don't. It's just that people. I'm not saying you. I'm not talking to you. I'm just speaking in general. I'm telling you how people get caught up in the titles, man, because people be wanting to do stuff to fit into a group, and then they don't want to do it, or they can't do it, and then they say, "Well, I'm gonna change the meaning and still call myself a part of that group." Like, just don't call your hair anything, bro. Just call it. You just say I got locks. And be on about your way. Um, in Baltimore, many people have lots. Have locks. Okay, have locks, men and women. Is it like that in your area? I don't see too many people with locks here anymore. Now, back in the days, back in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, everybody, man, everybody was having locks. When I was like in high school, like everybody had locks. And even after high school, like, so in that mid 2000s, early 2000s, mid 2000s era, everybody was having locks. But not so much right now. It's not so much. I combine my originals. Wait a minute. Okay, I be skipping comments. Boo Waters, do you just leave your new growth alone? Yeah, do nothing to it. That's how it start to form these locks, man. Cause I just leave it alone, bro. Like, I just wash it and leave it alone. So I tell people, like, just think if I didn't have these locks, right? And this was just my hair. This is just me trying to freeform, right? I didn't do nothing to my hair. I just let it grow, and then you just start forming locks from everywhere, man. So I don't mess with it. Okay, Alexis Shanice said, I combined my original set from 165 to 30. But the partings were weird, and my locks would have grown to be thin at some point. So I undid them, and now I have 31 and with great parts. All right, that's good. Glad you're happy with your locks that you created yourself. Yeah, I still have them, just separated. Vids on my channel. Okay, I'm gonna check your channel out, man. New era. Gotta write that down. I'm gonna remember. Thank you for answering my questions and concerns. Looking forward to more watch day videos and etc. Good luck with your journey again. Thank you, man. Thank you for watching and tuning in. I think I'm gonna get off. If I have any, I'm gonna give y'all a little grace period for more questions. Okay, we got one. May I ask, how do I get mine to mat together? You just don't do nothing to your hair. Just wash your hair and that's it. So let me explain. I think a lot of times people, when people who already have length, when we just say just wash your hair, I know people like, man, it sounds easy, but like, what do you mean by that? So when you just wash your hair, right? What it does is just like, so all of the little hairs that you got, like that's how this formed, right? You wash your hair and all of these hairs are gonna tangle to each other. You're gonna have hair all over that's gonna tangle. It's gonna, you know what I'm saying? So it's gonna start creating. That's why you wash it, and it's gonna just start creating. And the more it grows, the more it's gonna mat together. That's it. Like these just matted together because I just wash it. I just wash them at early stages and just leave them alone, and they just matted. Because you don't do nothing to the new growth, so the hair has to go somewhere, and so the hair starts to pull each other in. That's why a lot of times people ask me, "Oh, well, I have locks now on the top." But when I didn't have locks on the top, people say, "Well, why do you have locks on the top?" Because I would just leave my hair alone, and by me leaving my hair alone, like it formed these because the hair started just pulling to the side. It started, and now once these locks formed, what they started doing was the new growth that formed up here. They started engulfing the hair. So you just leave your hair alone and it's gonna start matting together. I think the blurred lines are with the semi-freeform titles. Cameron Love. Yes, man. I don't really, I can't say certain things because it'll come off as me like downing people or trying to be an elitist, so I just stay away from it altogether. Plus, it's not that serious to me. Why people make all these titles and whatnot. But I say that's why I say you ain't gotta really title it, But if somebody is really semi freeforming for whatever that means to people, if they're really doing it, then I ain't got no problem with that. But I think that sometimes people they know that they're not doing it, but they just want to change it because, and they change it and they give you these cliche sayings. Like I seen somebody today say, "Well, freeform locks, free means free to do whatever you want to do." I'm like, man, come on, man, that's disingenuous. That's not what that means, man. But I don't say it because people, you know what I mean. People turn that into you trying to bully them, and I'm not a bully, and I don't want to do that. So I don't like to make people feel bad about their hair because I embrace all natural hair, all hair types, whatever you want to do with your hair. How many times should I wash my hair? You wash your hair whenever you feel, whenever you feel like listen, I'd be like this, like whenever I feel like my hair needs to be washed, I wash it. There's no time limit. There's like, I don't say that, well, I only can wash my hair such and such amount of times a week. Whenever my hair feels like it needs to be washed, I'm gonna wash it. So if someone gets lineups or a light taper, would it still be considered freeform? Yeah, I think so. I've answered that question a couple of times before. I think that I line the back of my neck up. You know what I mean? Line the back up here. I'll never mess with the front. But I grew up loving dreads, from Busta Rhymes, Mr. Cheeks, the Boot Camp Click. Boot Camp Click, now that's throwback, man. and many others from New York. I lived in VA and Florida for a while, and I used to love how they rock they sets. Yeah, I think well down here in Louisiana, it was the Hot Boys. Honestly, Hot Boys in the Atlanta scene. Do you wear coverings? Not much. Um, I honestly been thinking about re-upping on some Tams. I used to wear Tams a decent bit, but I'm kind of outgrowing the ones that I have, and so I don't really be rocking the Tams as much anymore. But I seen some that I really liked at this store in Brooklyn, New York, and I'll be in New York on the 30th of this month. So I'm gonna go to that spot and I'm gonna catch them. I'm gonna cop some Tams. I wondered that too, but I did get a lineup today though. You already got the lineup. But yeah, man, you get the lineup, man. Do what makes you happy with your hair, man. You know, whether it's getting the lineup or whatever. You know. Yeah, I just let my fro grow and it turned to spike dreads. Now they combine to bigger ones with hella new growth. Thanks for the tips. No problem, man. I just say locks. Yeah. I don't retwist mine, but I do separate the parting. I don't know what's considered. I don't know what that's considered, but I don't feel the need to label them. They're just my locks. That's it. It's just simple as that, man. I'm telling y'all what a stuff comes in there because everybody trying to be a YouTuber. So to be a YouTuber, to get in that space, you got to say that this is my hair. My hair is such and such. So you have that, and you have the other social media or platform aspects where you post a picture, you tag it, Freeform Locs and all of this stuff, and then you get to get that attention from everywhere. People want attention, man. But as far as YouTube goes, a lot of people do that because it gets them attention. That's why you see a lot of people, they'll start off saying, "Oh, I ain't gonna never touch my hair," and then they do it. Now, ain't nothing wrong with that, but to do that and then still be like, "Oh, yeah, I'm freeform," and then because they make excuses along the way, so it's weird that they do that. Just say, you know what, I ain't really feeling the look no more, so this is what I want to do to my hair. That's it. Like nobody can't be mad at that. Should you record your progress of your locks? Should you? Um, in some form, I believe it's fun. Like you ain't got to come on YouTube and do it. You can get your own camera or um, something. Something for your own personal thing to do it. You ain't gotta get on YouTube and make videos, man. You can just do it for your own personal self. Like, now I don't know if you should do it, but I think that it's cool to do it. But I'm a very nostalgic person, so I like going back and look at things. Like even though my hair is long right now, hey man, God spare me life. 15 years from now, I'll go back and be able to either look at this video or look at some type of um picture or something that I have for my personal self and be like, oh, I remember when I was at this point. Now at this length, I can go back in 2015 and look at my hair how it is then. So you can do it for personal documentation. I think it's pretty cool to do that, to just go so you can have something to go back and look at, or I can show my kids. How long does it take for your dreads to reach maturity? I say on average about that fourth or fifth year. In the hip hop community, the hot boy cut, the thought boy cut, or the semi freeforms became popular. I think a lot of people just like the fade with a wild. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that's the new thing now, and I have to understand that aspect as well. Like I actually start to grasp that, like probably like last year maybe, and I'm like, well, it's changed though as far as the YouTube goes now, because the young kids, the younger folks, this is what they, that's what they look at it as. They got the cut, and like I said, the wild hair on top. So that's what it is. And look, things change, man. It's the new style right now. That's the trend right now. So I think people made the labels to look like such and such. Yeah, yeah. But that's I tell people to be honest with yourself. Not don't get caught up too much in the labels, man. But so be honest with yourself, man. You know you lying to them people on God doggone on social media, man. No, you lying to them people. But again, it all goes back to the attention and people, wanting to be seen for something. People want to feel like they've done something in life or to be a part of something. So you get all kinds of you get all kinds of things out there. But that's all I have, man. I thank y'all for tuning into this live. Even though I was a little bit late, labels always come up regardless. Yeah, yeah. Some things gonna always be labeled. Yeah. So, but I thank you guys for tuning in, man, and I appreciate all the questions, all the feedback, all the input. I still got more. Is it a reason that the front of your hair takes longer? Mm, I think for a lot of people, including myself, I used to lay on the back of my hair more. So the back of your hair is gonna mat more. You don't sleep on your face, so it takes a little bit longer for your hair to mat up in the front. So at least that's my theory. But thank you guys for tuning in. I'm gonna be out now. Thanks for watching. How do I log out of here? Oops. Guys, I'm old. I'm trying to log out. There we go.